Okay, so I wanted to talk about the show last night that I went to. It was the Smackdown show, which you'll probably see this Friday. So there's gonna be spoiler alert because well, unless you've already read the spoilers, it doesn't matter. Most people probably read the spoilers for Smackdown anyway. But overall, I thought it was a fun show. The crowd, I think, was into it for some people. You know, like CM Punk and Randy Orton, for example, were really big time over. But before the show started, we had They taped Superstars before it, and there was R-Truth against. Gosh, I really honestly can't remember, but R-Truth actually got a pretty good reaction. The crowd was into him. And there's just a short little match. Justin Gabriel before that had a match with some like random guy. I think he was probably just like maybe a local talent. But just to get the crowd into it, and when he did a fairly decent job of that, I'd say. I think Justin Gabriel's a pretty good wrestler. Probably deserves maybe a little more TV time. Then Sin Cara had a match with Kurt Hawkins. Sin Cara was actually really over with the crowd. I'm not too big on Sin Cara. Like I kind of don't really care about him that much, but he was very popular. Now on with the real show. Randy Orton, huge pop. I myself not a Randy Orton fan. I was probably like one of the few people that were booing him. I mean, I'm probably sure there was a couple people there, but I myself not a Randy Orton fan. Damien Sandow did come out, which I am a fan of Damien Sandow, and I was probably like the only person in the crowd that actually cheered for him. But they did have, a pretty solid opening little match. Cody Rhodes got involved. Orton won. No surprise there. But, it was cool that they did the two Money in the Bank winners in the opening match. And Sandow, basically what happened is after the match, Cody took Sandow's briefcase. And this would be an ongoing theme. Because throughout the night, Sandow would be going around the backstage area looking and asking, where's Cody Rhodes? He has my briefcase. And that would eventually play into later tonight, which I'll get to. Then we had CM Punk come out, big pop. I was really excited. I mean, I was on my feed cheering for Punk. The crowd really was into Punk. Probably either him or Orton probably got the biggest pops. I don't know. Actually, I don't know about that because after Punk, well, first of all, Punk his promo and calling out Brock Lesnar, very standard stuff, but it was to the point. Nothing really wrong with it. And then Fandango came out and there was a part that we're dancing, doing the little Fandango dance. That was kind of cool. I was kind of into it too. And then, but then he got in the ring and Punk just GTS'd him. But that was set up a match later on. They would wrestle each other later on. And after that, let's see, there was. I think after that was Van Dam and Del Rio, which I thought was going to be the main event. Well, Van Dam had a great big pop. I was happy to see Van Dam. Del Rio, kind of a mixed reaction. It was a really short match. I was actually kind of disappointed by it. Basically, they wrestled for a little bit, and then Del Rio just he kicked Van Dam in the head and got the 1-2-3. It was really quick. I was kind of disappointed, but it is what it is. And then let's see, there was a 6-man tag with Wade Barrett and the Primetime Players against Mark Henry, who got a pretty good pop, and the Usos, who the Usos entrance is really cool. I like the Usos a lot too. I hope there's big things up for them. I think they're really talented. This was a pretty short little match. Henry pinned, I think it was one of the Primetime Players. I can't remember exactly who they pinned, but Henry did get the pin. I know that. And then let's see. There was a segment with AJ Lee and Big E, and they called out Dolph Ziggler, and basically AJ was just trying to goad Ziggler and trying to get under his skin. And this, you'll see this Friday. I mean, this segment, it's kind of one of these kind of comedy segments that sometimes WWE likes to do, and it's okay, but it's okay for what it is, but it's not that great. But that would set up the dark main event, which was Ziggler and Langston, which I'll get to later. We also had, let's see, Christian and Jack Swagger. They had a really good match, actually. I think this is the match I was into the most. Christian, I think, was kind of, the crowd, little by little, kind of got more into Christian as the match progressed. I've always been a big Christian fan, so I was happy to see him. Swagger, there was quite a few people that did the whole, we the people thing at the beginning. By Zeb Coulter. Zeb Coulter did cut a pretty good promo. So, we'll see how that goes. Christian did win. Which, I don't know. I like Christian, but at this point, doesn't Swagger need the victory more? Just my opinion. Uh, let's see. Punk had his match with Fandango, which was pretty good. Had like a lot of comedy in it, and like Punk basically making Fandango and doing a lot of like dancing moves. It was a nice little match. Punk got the win, obviously. Oh, well, he made he made Fandango tap out pretty quickly too. Let's see. Am I forgetting anything? Oh, the Wyatt family made an appearance. That was really cool to see. I think the whole Wyatt family entrance to me is really awesome. I think it's great. Even on TV, it comes out great. I think in live in person, it's even creepier. They basically squashed the Tons of Funk. Yeah, it was really quick. Just a quick little beat down. They called out Kane. They keep calling out Kane, which makes me think that, I don't know, there have been rumors about Undertaker being at SummerSlam. I'm not going to hold my breath, but hey, if Undertaker and Kane team up and take on the Wyatt family, I mean, that'd be really awesome. I'm already excited about SummerSlam. That would make it even better just to see Undertaker again and the Wyatts, who I think have a big future ahead of them. I don't think I'm forgetting it. I think I pretty much covered everything. And the ongoing Cody Rhodes and Damian Sandow thing, which is great. I think it's great. Damian Sandow's getting a lot of TV time. Basically, what Cody did was here in Corpus, where the show's at. They usually like to utilize, because the arena's right next to the water. And basically, Cody's he's got the briefcase and he's got it in his hands and he throws it in the water. Well, after Damian's please don't do it, and then he throws it in the water. And then Damian's he's just looking at it, he's hesitant to jump in, but eventually he does jump in, and he gets and he doesn't get the briefcase because by then it's too far. He jumps in, and he's no, I can't swim, and he jumps out. So I gotta give him credit for jumping in the water, because that water, the currents in those waters are actually pretty strong, and if you're not careful, they'll carry you in pretty deep, and you're really screwed if you get deep in those waters, and that water ain't shallow either. So that's how the taping ended, and then you had the dark main event with Ziggler and Langston, which was a decent little match, nothing too special. Ziggler, I'm afraid, I don't know. I really like Ziggler, and I really want him to win the title back, but with this crowd, he wasn't quite as over as Punk and Orton. Punk and Orton were definitely really over, and RVD too, but Ziggler not quite. But I think that Ziggler will eventually get there, though. I really do. I think Ziggler. I saw quite a few Ziggler T-shirts, so I think he's gonna be one of their top, a top babyface fairly soon. I mean, he's not on the level of Punk and Orton, but I think he will be. The match was okay. I really don't want to see Ziggler and Langston at the pay-per-view SummerSlam. I really think they should just have Ziggler win the title back, because I don't know if Del Rio as champion really does anything for anybody. I mean, I don't think people really care about Del Rio that much. So I'd love to see Ziggler win it back, but who knows. And overall it was a pretty good show. Had a good time. Like I said, CM Punk, Randy Orton, Rob Van Dam, they're all very popular. Great, I'm big fan of Punk and Van Dam, Christian. Very happy to see those guys. Ziggler, Mark Henry was great to see. I like Wade Barrett. Wish you'd kind of get a little bit more. And seeing the Wyatt family live was great too. So yeah, that was my live reaction. Well, the show that I saw live last night, which was Smackdown taping for this Friday. So have to watch this Friday and see if they do any changes. So